Hey guys, what's up? And today I'm going to be making a guide for Frost Death Knights in the patch of 5.4. So let's start with going over the spec. So we're going to be playing Frost, which is an icy harbinger of doom, channeling runic power and delivering vicious weapon strikes. So you're going to be using mainly frost runes to put out your damage, and also a lot of runic power, and you also have some special abilities that also other classes do not have to increase your damage. Basically what this means is that you do lots of big hits rather than Unholy, where it's lots of small dot ticks over time. So you have Frost Strike, which is going to cost 20 runic power if you are of course in Frost Presence, and it's going to do a decent amount of damage. Obliterates your hard hitter when you get a killing machine proc. This is what you're going to want to be using. Howling Blast is sort of a ranged AoE sort of move. It's also what can proc, and you can get them for free. And then Pillar of Frost is a cooldown that is actually going to increase your strength by 20%. So yeah, let's get into the next part of the video. Okay, so talents. In your tier 1, I go over Unholy Blight. This just helps you spreading all your dots. None of these are really too useful. They're more sort of for the Unholy spec, but I just use this one personally. It just helps if you're trying to AoE a few people down. It is also very useful. Here I go with Lichborne. It's just another way of getting out of tough situations. All three of these are actually pretty decent. Purgatory, I'd recommend sort of not going with that, since there's not many situations where you actually will be left very low and actually having a chance of surviving. Anti-magic zone is an amazing thing if you know a big burst is coming. Pretend if you're fighting a mage or a warlock or something like that. If they're about to chaos bolt or any big spell like that, then it is very useful for that sort of stuff. But overall it's a 2-minute cooldown, and this isn't as useful as Lichborne in my opinion. So for the next one, they're all pretty decent. Death Advance in my opinion isn't as good as the other two. Although Chillbends is very nice, get into a target pretty much whenever you need. Specifics or whatever you call it. That just always works much better because Death Knights don't actually have too many stuns apart from this, so that's what you're going to be wanting to roll with. Next one is hands down definitely conversion. All the other two are complete rubbish. You're not going to be wanting to bother with them at all. Death Pact, I've seen a few Death Knights use it. It's definitely a lot more viable than the Death Siphon, so between these two definitely, but I'd definitely pick conversion since it did get that buff quite a while back. Next I'm going to go in with Blood Tap. I've seen some use Runic Corruption, which is also quite useful, but I've never actually used it before, so I can't really tell you about that, but that's just what I've seen some of the Fnacs use. So I personally use Blood Tap just because this activates when you need it and as you need it. This might activate when you don't even need it. You've got 4 runes pretty much, so this is just a better option in my opinion. For the last tier 90, I go with this one right here, Remorseless Winter. This is basically just an AoE sort of stun sort of thing. I use it. It's pretty nice if you're playing. You can just get the healer and the DPS together or whatever. If you're doing 2s or whatever, it's just quite useful. And it also does get some players to sort of run away, so you can heal up a bit with your conversion. Because they do not want to get the stun. But yeah, it's definitely a very useful thing to have. Okay, so now going into what you want to be gearing and gemming. So first of all, you're going to want to be gemming a lot of mastery. This is basically just going to increase all frost damage done. So I haven't actually gemmed too much into it yet, which I will be doing later on when I do get fully geared. But you're going to be wanting to gem a lot of mastery. Also quite a lot of haste. Crit is not really needed that much. Crit is you're going to be sorted out with crit with your killing machine proc, so you're not really going to need to worry about that at all. So you want to go with obviously your strength coming up first, then your mastery, and then your haste. Now for the rotation. So the rotation is pretty easy as a Frost Death Knight. You're just going to be using your procs as and when you get them. So I do like to start the fight with a minion coming in. I don't know, I just use it. I don't really use it that often, but if I can get it out, it's definitely just going to increase my damage. So you can get it start attacking and stuff, and it's going to do like, what was that, like 3k or something, which isn't that bad. Also Death and Decay is useful to use, but you might not want to use it. It's completely up to you if you do. So normally when I come in, mattering on who I'm playing, you might want to get some necrotic strikes in. This may help you absorb some healing and stuff. It's very useful to start off the fight with a bit of pressure from that. If you're playing with someone that has a healer or someone that is playing like a paladin or something that can self-heal, it is really useful just to keep the pressure rolling. So I normally start with a couple of obliterates just to get enough points up to do some frost strikes. Now a lot of people say that you should wait for your obliterate, because obviously it's going to hit lots harder than if you use it on a frost strike. But if you're waiting on more than 2 seconds for your obliterate, I just use it on a frost strike, because it's still gonna do 100k, so it doesn't really matter. So I just carry on with that. I've seen a lot of Death Knights just wait and wait and wait for their obliterate to come back up, and just keep waiting, and then it will come back up. And sometimes even their proc has gone down, or you know, they're probably dead by that point. So a useful time to save your blood taps for when you get a proc. If you've got blood taps, you're obviously going to want to use them. The only bad thing about blood taps is they can actually get the wrong runes that you don't actually want. There is a couple of ways of avoiding this, but there's pretty much not a definite way of avoiding it. So you just want to keep the pressure rolling. It's a very good class to keep pressure, and it's definitely gonna get healers in trouble at points, especially with their burst. So you also are going to want to use your Empower rune weapon. This is going to be used during your burst. When you completely run out, you've got nothing else to do, you just pop that, and you're basically going to reset everything for you, and it's going to be a second burst for you pretty much. So now I'm just going to do a little burst on this target dummy, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. That's just a little burst sort of clip. As you can see, I did quite a lot of big crits there. I could have just kept going there. They do just get to points where you have basically nothing to cast, but that's alright. You're not really going to be able to train someone as much as I am on this target dummy here. They're normally going to be kiting, etc. So yeah, you should be good as a Frost Death Knight. It is a very nice class to play. Also, trying to get some haste in there is very nice. Just gets your runes back quicker, which is going to be extremely useful. So yeah, if you like this guide, please like the video and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. See ya.